Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, August 15th, and we will call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Bospis Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
Commissioner Talentino. Commissioner Twardy.
Here.
We did have a phone call from both Commissioners Talentino and Commissioner Miller, and they were unable to make it this evening, so if we could get a motion to excuse.
I will move to excuse both of them.
Support.
Been moved and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
They are excused. If everybody that can stand would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, everybody. It's exciting to see this many people in the gallery again this evening. And so 4 mayor comments. I only have one, and I'd like to wish my son Joshua Gary a happy birthday. So moving on into item B, which is proclamations and recognitions. Looks like we have some good ones here. So City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Got a couple good ones here for us. First and foremost is an introduction of Officer Garrett Markstrom. If you guys want to come up, Chief Beerline will do an introduction for you. He doesn't need to be introduced to everyone at the dais, though. Some people already know him.
Thank you, City Manager. I'd like to introduce our newest hire, Garrett Markstrom. And we are ecstatic about this young man coming to work for us and work with us. We recruited him back in the wintertime, and I haven't stopped smiling yet. We truly are excited about what he brings to the table and what he's going to bring to Sault Ste. Marie and what he's going to do for our department. Garrett is local. He grew up in Sault Ste. Marie and graduated from Sioux High in 2015, and went to the Marine Corps afterwards for 5 years. And after being honorably discharged, he attended Lake State University and graduated from Lake State with honors, and attended the Police Academy this spring, where he also graduated in honors. And so we hired him. He began July 1st, and we truly are ecstatic about what having him on board with us. And he's in his training program now. He's doing well. And we look forward to his service to Sault Ste. Marie, hopefully for a very long time. So, welcome.
Welcome. Almost as tall as you are, Chief. He's got the likeness. No wonder you're so excited.
So,
Congratulations. Very exciting to see. So thank you very much for bringing them here.
All right, next up, we have 2 other new employees that are at the fire department, Rachel Vlad and Connor Coletti Parr. Sorry, did I say those right? Come on up.
I don't get to do this alone, so come on up. All right, switch. So I'll talk to Rachel first. Okay, there you go.
All right, tonight, Mayor, Commissioners, I'm excited to be here tonight to talk about 2 new firefighters we have for the fire department, which has been a long search for quality people, and we found 2 that started in the past week. Rachel grew up in Dryden, and she's actually here tonight with her mom. She went to Lake Superior State for criminal justice and changed her mind and got into fire service and fire science, which was a great change. So that's good. No offense, Chief. But then she was an intern with us. She's a paramedic graduate awaiting a national registry so she could be licensed as a paramedic. So right now she is a licensed EMT and a firefighter, certified firefighter in Michigan. She has a bachelor's degree from Lake Superior State, and she has experience in her young age already by working with Kinross EMS. So we're very excited to have her. And as you know, she is the first female firefighter in the history of the fire department for Sault Ste. Marie. So we're very excited to have her, and we hope for great things for her and her career. And we're gonna be here to help her along the way. She started August 9th, so she's been working a couple shifts already, and she's done a great job. Connor is over there. He also is a Lake Superior State student. He hasn't graduated yet. He has one more semester until he's done with his bachelor's degree, but he started off in, which I had to make sure, wildlife biology, and switched to fire science. So again, another good move, I think, in my opinion. He is a graduate paramedic awaiting his national registry testing. He is a licensed EMT. He is a certified firefighter in the state of Michigan and has worked on Sugar Island with their EMS system. So both come well prepared with some experience. Connor's first day is today. So he's brand spanking new, and I know how that feels, that first day and then show up at a commission meeting. So I think it too. So, but I just want to welcome them all to the fire department in Sault Ste. Marie. This means that we are one shy of being at our budgeted staffing, which we're very excited about, and we do have plans to take care of that position very shortly. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief. That's very exciting. Thank you very much. Good to see the staffs of the departments too out here to support the new employees. Yeah, sure. Commissioner Bauer?
Oh, I just wanted to say one thing. Because I've met Rachel before. She used to work for me at Sioux Brewing Company, so it always makes me feel good when former employees go out and do bigger and better things. That's great. I hope you're with us for a long time.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Moving into C, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any of our scheduled agenda items? Dan Dasho. What, we'll call you up when that item comes up. Is it for the airport, I'm assuming?
It's for Kelly Bunker.
Oh. Yeah, it's in the consent agenda, so what we'll do is Deputy City Manager will go through the consent agenda, and then we'll just have you comment if you'd like. All right, is there anybody else that would like to make any comments on any regularly scheduled items? All right, so moving on, we will move into item D, which is the consent agenda. So Deputy City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of August 1st, 2022. Item 2, acceptance of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting minutes of July 12th. Item 3, acceptance of the Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes of July 12th. Item 4, acceptance of the Downtown Development Authority meeting minutes of July 13th and the special DDA board meeting of July 20th. Item 5, acceptance of the Tax Increment Finance Authority 3 meeting minutes of July 12th. Item 6, reappointment of Kelly Bunker to the Economic Development Corporation. Item 7, consideration of a resolution to exempt the city from the provisions of Public Act 152 of 2011. Item 8, consideration of a private use agreement for north-south alley of Block 6 of Shallows subdivision. Item 9, consideration of an easement to Cloverland Electric Cooperative for electric service for Arlington Street. Item 10, consideration of a Conica Minolta renewal rental agreement with National Office Products. Item 11, consideration of Economic Development Corporation budget amendment. Item 12, status update on the cost to repair a Tax Increment Finance Authority 3 owned tractor. Item 13, consideration for acceptance of Eagle for an energy grant awarded in the amount of $9,785 to the Economic Development Corporation. And item 14 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager. Dan, if you'd like to come up and if you could state your name for the record, please, and your place of residence. township or city.
I'm Dan Dasho, and I'm chairman of the EDC. And thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, for allowing me to speak. On behalf of Kelly Bunker, Kelly Bunker is just a great citizen and businessman in the city of Sault Ste. Marie. He shows all the qualities that you're looking for in somebody who's going to be on the EDC. Longtime businessman, knows lots of people, and is very interested in seeing the community move forward economically. And Mayor, I'm glad that you reappointed him and look forward to serving with him in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Certainly, we have a lot of respect for Kelly. He is a good person, and he has faithfully served for a long time, so pleasure for us to reappoint if we get a motion to approve and appoint. So, does any commissioner want anything on the consent agenda further explained or removed for individual consideration? All right, Commissioner Twardy.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspis Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubenstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on, thank you, Dan. Moving on into E, special orders of business. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to hold a first reading followed by a motion to approve a second reading of the next meeting regarding a block of properties being rezoned. So there's a section of land in between Ridge Street, Emmeline Street, Magazine Street, and another street. The owners of the properties have petitioned the city to rezone the properties from industrial to RM2, multifamily residential. This request went to the Plan Commission. They held a public hearing to which the Plan Commission recommended the rezoning be approved. In that process, it has to have 2 public hearings by the commission because it's an ordinance. So tonight, we have the first reading scheduled and then a motion to schedule the second reading for the September 6th meeting where you'll have it up for final consideration. So again, there's a lot of information in your packet from the Community Development Department. If you have any questions, I can call Kelly up to help me out and answer them for you. But in short, there's a plot of land that we're going to be rezoning from industrial to RM2.
Thank you, City Manager. Does anybody have any questions on this item for City Manager or Planning Director Freeman? This is not a public hearing, correct?
Correct. This is first
Okay,
reading.
First reading. All right, Commissioner Rubenstein, would you like to make the motion?
Would love to. Motion to approve the first reading of the included ordinance to rezone Assessor Subdivision Number 8, Lot 403, and Emmeline Woods Addition, Lots 1 through 14, inclusive, Block 3, from I-1 Industrial to RM2 multiple family residential, and schedule a second reading for the September 6, 2022 City Commission meeting.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments on this item? So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion did pass. So we'll have a second reading on the September 6, 2022 City Commission meeting. Under F, Communications, number 1, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next, we have David Waite from Great Circle Aviation Services. He has put together a NIPIUS application for the commission consideration. The NIPIUS is a program that if the Sanderson Airport gets admitted into it, could produce some extra financing or some grant opportunities for the airport. It's a long process. There was a lot of work behind it. A lot of letters of support had to be drafted and put together for that, but we would look for a approval of the NIPIUS application as presented. Anything else you want to mention?
I had submitted the proposal
Welcome, David. If you could go up to the microphone, please.
I had submitted the proposal, and everyone should have had a copy of it. Historically, Sanderson Field hasn't gotten any federal funding since the commercial airport moved out to the base. One of the reasons for that is what they call the proximity rule. Under the National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems, you have to be more than 30 miles from the next Nipias airport. But there are a lot of justifications for an exemption to that. We meet all of those justifications. The problem is with the new infrastructure funding with the federal government right now, we have been getting funding through MDOT, through the Michigan Department of Transportation Office of Aeronautics. That's not going to happen anymore because of the tremendous amount of money that's coming in, that infrastructure money that the state is going to have to match. So we were advised at the last meeting of the Michigan Airport Executives Association that state funding for non-Nipias airports was not going to be available for at least the next 5 years. We have some critical issues at the airport that need taken care of. One of the things that really hurt us was that during the COVID pandemic, we were deemed an essential service and our workers were deemed essential workers, but we weren't eligible for any of the federal funds for relief for that. And we went way in the hole trying to keep the airport going. We borrowed money to pay the bills down there. If we had been in the Nipias program, we could have gotten up to 5 times the annual operating costs of the airport in a grant with very little process involved. But because we weren't Nipias, that didn't happen. This is just an example of what being in the Nipias program is. The one hook is that when you receive federal funds through Nipias, you are required to commit to keeping the airport open for a certain period of time, depending on what the grant is. It could be up to 20 years. So while being in the Nipias doesn't directly financially obligate the city to any specific funds, if you receive funds under the Nipias, you are required to commit to keep that airport open. And each grant will have a different time period on it, but it can be up to 20 years. So for that reason, and the reason that we'd like the city's support when we take it to the Michigan Department of Transportation at the conference in Mackinac Island next month, if we had the support of the city, it would go a really long ways towards getting it done. Yep. If you've read the proposal, you'll saw that we have some really critical needs there. And the airport, I don't know, a lot of people are familiar with it. 214 this morning, we did a medevac. We saved somebody's life at 214 this morning. We brought in 9 people to work on the phase 2 of the locks today. We had a businessman come in a jet and look at the new Kmart building, or the old Kmart building, see what he could do with it. And we had 2 planes clear customs. That's just today, and it's a Monday. It's not a very busy day. So it's a very important place. And the Nipias program is the only way we're going to be able to get and access any kind of funding for the airport for at least the next 5 years. I realize it obligates the city to keep the airport open, but I think the city really should keep the airport open. It's been open since 1928, and in 6 years it'll be 100 years that it's been there. And the city has consistently supported it throughout that time. So I'm just asking for the approval of the city to submit this. A lot of the Nipias funds goes in a block grant to the state through the Michigan Department of Transportation. So we're going to be taking it, if we get the approval, we're going to be taking it to the Michigan Department of Transportation at the conference on Mackinac Island of the Michigan Airport Executives.
Yep.
Thank
It's a common thing for those grants from the federal or the state government to have kind of we'll utilize the asset we're funding for X number of years. MDOT has the same thing, Department of Natural Resources have the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, it's not necessarily obligating the airport itself, but those grant opportunities.
There is, right now, $500 million a year set aside for small airports. We're not in competition with Kinross at all. They're in a whole different class. $500 million a year, and the matching funds are minimal. They're asking for a 5% match for the stuff you get from them. And we're ready to go with proposals to redo the taxiway, to all the things that were in the knee assessments. Without it, it's critical, because we cannot depend on the state funding anymore. That's all I have. If any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Thanks, David. Anybody have any questions? I know this is something you've been talking about for a long time, and there are a lot of needs up there, and appreciate all the work that everybody put into that. I don't know if you had a consultant at one time that was gonna do it, but
We
didn't
had,
do it.
the state provided us with a consultant, and it turned out when we went to the meeting that they didn't do anything for the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then
COVID.
the guy that was supposed to do it, the guy who was supposed to do it resigned, and he passed me off to some kid who said,
Okay.
"Where's Sault Ste. Marie?" You know, so we
Well.
decided to do it ourselves.
We appreciate you going forward, and certainly, there were some great letters of reference in there, and, had some good quality content, so.
So what we'd be looking for tonight is just a motion to approve the application as presented.
All right, anybody else have any questions? Commissioner Bosphus Rath, would you like to make the motion?
Sure. I motion to approve the proposal as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it. All right, moving on into item G, which is business items. Number 1, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is the second reading of ordinance 24-37 regarding pedestrian crossings. As the commission is aware, the downtown, we have signs along Ashman and Portage that require traffic to stop to pedestrians. In reviewing the safety and some of the guidelines with the downtown, we came across the fact that we didn't have the ordinance to actually make them permissible. So this will put that ordinance on the book so that we can actually enforce it and keep them on there. The one change, I didn't mention the last meeting, because it's an MDOT trunk line, we can't actually have these signs that say stop for pedestrians. We'll have to change them to yield to pedestrians. And Tyler's got a plan just to get some stickers and throw it over the stop sign. So we'll be changing the stop to yield, but it'll still have the same effect, essentially. So we would look for a motion to approve the second reading of the included ordinance to create section 24-37 pedestrians crossing streets.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Tuarte.
Just a quick question, and I just happened to think about it. So historically, Sault Ste. Marie, because of the weather, we do not have to worry about jaywalking. Does this ordinance change anything like that? Are pedestrians now forced into crosswalks only, or can we still jaywalk?
So technically you can't jaywalk anywhere.
Oh,
And it's actually a state, where's Wes at?
Hiding.
okay.
Not at me if I'm right. Jaywalking is a state traffic motor code violation, and it requires all pedestrians to cross at a designated crosswalk. So jaywalking is not a local thing, it's actually a state traffic code. Okay. So,
Okay, because I
um,
thought because of weather conditions in extreme cold climates, pedestrians were able to cross at other areas.
I have not heard or seen that, but I do know from doing research on this when I was downstate, we put in the same thing, that pedestrians have to cross, in the state of Michigan, pedestrians have to cross at designated crosswalks. And if you actually, for that very reason, if you hopped out into traffic and you jaywalked, you got in an accident, you would actually be at fault for that one, or you could be, I guess, depending on the
I'm a professional
circumstances.
jaywalker. I don't want to get a ticket for.
So,
You heard it on live TV?
I know. Well, I said professional, so that.
She's writing it down.
All right.
Who's
Well, thank
paying
you.
you to jaywalk? I wanna know. Where can I get in on that?
Right? I know you missed the boat.
All right, any
Okay.
other,
Thank you. That's
any other
it.
questions or comments? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make the motion?
Yes, I move to approve the second reading of the included ordinance to create section 24 through 37 pedestrians crossing streets. And by the way, I think we should still stop for pedestrians,
Not just
regardless of what the sign says.
Absolutely.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you very much. G, business items, number 2, City Manager Chapman.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is approval to award a bid for a new zero-turn mower for the cemetery. Long story short, we put out some bids. We received 6 bids back for a new zero-turn mower. The low bid did not beat the bid specifications, so we're recommending awarding to Northern Michigan Tractor and Equipment. for the amount of $10,495. This piece of equipment from Northern Michigan Tractor Equipment will also further our standardizing of the lawnmowers. They're all the same make, model, and all that stuff. So we'd look for a motion to award the bid of Northern Michigan Tractor and Equipment for the purchase of the zero-turn mower in the amount of $10,495.
Thanks, City Manager. Anybody have any questions on the zero-turn mower? Commissioner Twardy, would you like to make that motion?
I do think it's funny that it's a Gravely Pro-Turn mower for the cemetery, but pun. Motion to award the bid to Northern Michigan Tractor and Equipment LLC of Johannesburg, Michigan for the purchase of a Gravely Pro-Turn 252/992268 for the use by the cemetery for the amount of $10,495.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspas Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubenstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy,
Yes.
Mayor Gary.
Yes. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under G, business items, number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request to approve and award a bid to Midway Rentals for the purchase of a Bobcat E60 for use of the cemetery for the amount of $86,893.78. The staff issued bids. We received 4 back. 3 came under budget. Only 2 of those met the bid specifications. And as such, the staff is recommending to award the bid to Midway Rentals in the amount not to exceed $86,893.78.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions on item 3, the mid-size excavator? Commissioner Baspas Rath, would you like to
Absolutely.
one-liner?
Motion to award the bid to Midway Rentals Incorporated of Nagani, Michigan for the purchase of a Bobcat E60, not to exceed the amount of $86,893.78.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? A roll call, please.
Commissioner Baspas Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubenstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion did pass unanimously. Under G, business items, number 4, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to award a bid to Donahue Engineering Services for the wastewater treatment plant study in the amount of $30,000. So we have, as the commission is aware, the wastewater treatment plant is old. There's a lot of upgrades that have to happen. The city did or participated in a SAW grant a number of years ago. It highlighted some of the inefficiencies or some of the potential issues in the future. This is going to take the next step in that study and look at those issues and come up with alternatives, possible changes to the process system, and then put a dollar amount for it. So what the intent of this program is to not only highlight some of the issues we already know, but is to take it the next step and do the analysis on if we have RBCs, for example, if they're gonna go bad, do we wanna go into a different drip system or do we wanna treat it in a different way? So there's gonna be a lot of different options. And we're gonna need that analysis to apply for any grants or loans in the future. So we're kinda getting ready for any kind of grant and loan program in the future by having this in-depth analysis already ready to go when those applications open up. So we put out an RFP, we received 5 bids back. We aren't going with the low bid on this one. We kind of feel they missed the mark on what we were looking for, as staff had some conversation with them after the fact. So we'd be making a recommendation to award the bid for the wastewater treatment plant study to Donahue in the amount of $30,000.
Thank you, City Manager. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Baspas Rath.
I just want to say I like that we're being proactive on this. I think it's great. So, thank you.
Commissioner Rubenstein, would you like to take this one?
Motion to award the bid for wastewater treatment plant study to Donahue, a Michigan company, in the amount of $30,000.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rubenstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis Rath.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Under G, business items, final item number 5, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is probably the one I'm most excited for. The Downtown Development Authority has recently offered the DDA director position to Stephanie Sprecher. They met and held interviews at their July 20th meeting, in which we took it back to the DDA board this last week, and the board voted unanimously to offer her the position. So we drafted a contract. We have the terms of employment contained within it. But pursuant to the DDA state statutes, the governing board that created the DDA also needs approval of the director hire. So this item is kind of the blessing, if you will, by the commission for hiring Stephanie Sprecher as the DDA director. And Stephanie comes from us. She currently works at the EDC office at the Sioux Chippewa Tribe. She's been in and out of that organization in different positions for a number of years now. She holds a master's degree from Northern Michigan University, which is always kind of but we're really excited to have her on board. So we would look for a motion to approve the employment agreement as presented.
No more double duty anymore, eh?
No.
Yeah. What will you do with your time? Does anybody have any questions or comments for the city manager? Commissioner Bauer?
I'll make a comment, and I was in on the interviews, although I did not participate, being the liaison. And I've been in on quite a few of these over a period of time, going all the way back to Lee Brown, which just goes to show how long that is. And we're at a very serious point here where there has been a lack of continuity in that office since November of 2020. And let's not forget that, and Stephanie Sprecher, and I'm really high on her, and she's gonna be great. She is very qualified. She's got, a decent amount of experience. She is well-spoken and likable and everything you want for this position. Hopefully, we can retain her for, more than a year and a half, because if we don't, we're really gonna be hurting, because that's gonna be, further lack of continuity. No matter how good Stephanie Sprecher is, I wanna remind everybody though, she's not Ann Sullivan, if you know what I'm saying. She's not gonna be able to work miracles, right? That there is a learning curve that's involved with this, and you need really a first full cycle all the way through just to just to immerse yourself in the complexity, because this is a very complex role that she's taking on here. And I have all the confidence in the world that she's going to be able to do it, and hopefully we're going to be able to retain her like we did with Justin, for a prolonged period of time, and experience some continuity in that position. So I do move that we approve the employment agreement of Stephanie Sprecher as the new DDA head as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Anybody have any other comments, questions? Wise words, Commissioner Bauer, thank you. All in favor of the agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations to Stephanie Sprecher. She will be a good employee. Moving on into H, City Manager announcements and updates. City Manager Chapman.
Just one, I'll be out of the office August 29th through September 4th.
Any questions for City Manager on that or any other or any other things? Any updates on roads? Portage is scheduled for September? After Labor Day.
Yep.
Okay.
West Portage, after Labor
right.
Day. We just closed out, or we're in the process of doing the punch list for a 3 mile. The downtown access placemaking project, that's substantially complete, so we're just cleaning up some punch list items on that one. Easter Day, we're still working on the funding with that one in conjunction with the carbide dock. What am I missing, Dave? Yep. Yep, so we finalized
one.
Meridian. That one's
Yeah.
gonna be from Meridian, from Easter Day to 8th Avenue. So that section that runs along LSSU. We finalized that application. That one's moving forward. And then Dave is starting to
rough.
work with the, his counterparts with the Chippewa tribe, because they were just awarded that $20 million grant. So there will be a lot of road projects kind of in that area that we'll be coordinating with in the next year or two, so. Anything else?
So then we have Ashland, M129, and that's gonna be doing in the city next summer.
Yep.
And then Ashland Street from the bridge to Portage Ave, and they're gonna be it's gonna be a mill and overlay. But
Yep.
there's gonna be more repairs than that on it, but we just really got into it, so I'll let you know.
Yep.
So downtown Ashland's from the bridge to Portage.
Yep.
Huh.
Be a
Good.
quick one.
Okay. 9 days like Easter Day, right? Or like 3 mile. Good, well, a lot of progress. All right, so moving on into I, which is Mazers presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Feeling lonely over there, Nikki? It's kind of. Yeah. All right, seeing none. Item J is matters presented by the City Commission. Any commissioners have any items this evening? Commissioner Boss's-Strath.
I just wanted to remind everybody, this Saturday is the River Fest at Rotary Park. It starts at 8 a.m., so the weather is going to be amazing. Get out there, and I'm going to do the yoga paddleboard if my mom will watch the baby. So, Mom, can you watch the baby? So, this Saturday, River Fest at Rotary Park.
Good comment. Anybody else? Commissioner Torti.
Well, I do have one comment. We're still seeing a lot of political signs that have been left out in right-of-ways from the primary. Is Robert trying to go around and?
Code enforcement is on them, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That being said, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, move to adjourn.
Should I?
I didn't want to interrupt and move to adjourn if you wanted to say something.
Is there support?
Support.
Sure.
Been moved.